Good morning. I don't know the last time I did a Vibe Out Zone interview on the weekend this early, but if my voice is raspy, it's because I literally just woke up 30 minutes ago. So today we're going to be interviewing a lovely ballet, thank you, dancer. And she is located in London now. Her name is Natascha. So I'm going to go ahead and add her into the chat. Yes. And it's okay if y'all are barely up this morning. I'm barely up this morning, so. Hi. Yes, good morning. Well, it's evening for you, but morning for us. So I was kind of just doing like a rough explanation of who you are, where you're from. So I just kind of want you to go ahead and basically we're just going to introduce yourself. So introduce yourself. If I say your name wrong, please correct me. I'm still waking up. And then we're going to do a little speed round real quick, okay?
Yes. Okay, so my name is Natascha Mair and I am from Vienna. I was born there, I had my education there, and I was dancing there for 8 years, where I was like growing in the company, and I got the offer in London like a year ago. And I took the job and started at English National Ballet the past November. So I'm here since like half a year approximately. And yeah, I'm really excited for everything that's to come. And we finally start our performances in like 1-2 weeks. So that's really
exciting.
Yeah.
That is super exciting. Are you nervous at all about the performances?
I mean, I'm really looking forward. I feel like I'm gonna be a bit nervous maybe a few days before, but it's been so long. I'm just so excited to get back on stage that it's just so beautiful to have that chance again.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Oh, I'm so happy for you. So we're gonna start our little speed round. Our speed round is just kind of real quick, goofy, I like to call them, questions, just to kind of ease any nerves or anything like that, and then we'll get started into the questions. So the first part of the speed round is, what would you say your favorite season is?
Probably like spring, I think. Spring, art. I mean, I love I don't know. That's a tricky one, actually. I do like Christmas, so that's the good part about winter. But other than that, I definitely prefer having like light clothes and going outside and not having to carry a massive coat and boots every day. So I do like
it snows where you're at. See, my winters.
It rains more than it snows, but yeah, it can snow. It wasn't snowing that much this year, but still.
Okay, well, good. What would you say is a favorite creation of yours from another artist?
You mean like ballet pieces, or?
It could be a ballet piece. It could be just an art piece. It could be a favorite song of yours. Any kind of form of art that's something that you really like. It's a favorite creation of yours.
I mean, since I'm most aware of like the ballet productions, I think one of my most favorite pieces is Romeo and Juliet, which, I mean, in different versions is just so beautiful, or Manon as well. I do really appreciate different types of art as well. I recently got a lot into like paintings, and I can't really name special painters yet because I feel like it's a new passion.
Yeah.
But I've been starting to look at some, and it's really inspiring. And yeah, I mean, I love all type of arts, to be honest.
Okay, wonderful. I would say I'm the same way. I can't name artists, but I definitely can admire the pieces that I see if I'm like out and about. What would you say is your favorite like genre of music?
Another tricky tricky one, because if you would see my playlist, it's like a complete mash of everything. Because I feel like it comes in phases. It's like at some point I would listen to like really lyrical music, and then I would go on to like very like intense music. It's just like swaps all the time. I guess I do like kind of chilled music sometimes, or music that puts me in a good mood or just like triggers emotion in general.
I like that. I'm the same way. I think I listen to like, I guess I'll listen to it depending on the mood I'm in. Like one day I might listen to
Exactly.
something that might trigger me to be a little
Yeah.
bit more sad and like feel the emotion
Yeah,
I'm
and
having.
that's great, no? Like it's nice to like fully experience these emotions through music as well.
Definitely, definitely. What would you say your favorite animal is?
Um, Maybe chipmunks.
Chipmunks. I love chipmunks.
I
I
used
have
to have
never
one
got that
as a
answer.
pet.
I have never got that answer. That's a first time answer. Um, and then last but not least, what would you say that your spirit animal is for yourself? If you could be an animal, what do you think you would be?
I feel like, I'm not sure, I've been looking for my spirit animal for a long time now. I kind of like feel really connected to elephants,
Okay.
but I'm not sure if that's my spirit animal, but I wouldn't mind if it was.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, good, good. Those were some really good answers. I've never got chipmunk before. So that was definitely a first one. Like chipmunk. Okay, that's I always get like lions and like dolphins, I think are always like the two like top common ones. But elephants are beautiful and they're very
Yeah,
wise animals.
and cute as well.
They're so cute with their little trunks.
Yeah,
They just be trunking.
yeah, and
Um,
they like lift it up when they're trying to eat or drink. Like it's so cute.
yes, yes. So first and foremost, you were born in, is it Vienna?
In Vienna, yes.
Okay, Vienna, Austria. And you were there for most of your life. So
Yes.
would you mind discussing what it was like living and growing up there?
Yeah, I mean, it's a very beautiful city, and I have to say it's very privileged and it's very safe. And I was always aware of that because I mean I've been traveling a lot during my career as well. I've been to all kind of places, even poorer countries, and I realized Vienna is like a place where you just always feel like there is not a lot of crime. The streets are very safe. Like it's a very nice community. Everything's very organized. People are generally like not like very poor or very rich, but everyone is sort of wealthy. Like it's a really nice lifestyle. The quality
Mm-hmm.
of life is incredible. I mean, the city has been voted for like the best lifestyle like many years in a row, like in the world, I think even. So it's a really great city to live in. It's very comfortable, I would say. There
Mm-hmm.
is nothing really to worry about much. So that's of course very nice, and people are nice. I mean, I have a lot of friends there, but I just feel like in general, like compared to a city like London, it's definitely a much more, London is definitely way more like exciting in a way because it's more
Like
like going
busy?
on.
Yeah, like very
It's
busy.
way more busy, and like exactly, like crazy more busy.
Yeah.
So I feel like in a young age, living in London is definitely more exciting
Mm-hmm.
in some ways.
Okay. Okay. Where would you say that your favorite place in Vienna, I can't speak this one, Vienna is? What would your favorite place be of all time?
My favorite place. I mean, I think the most time I actually spend in the opera house. So I would almost consider that my favorite place because it feels like home.
Mm-hmm.
So, I
Okay.
mean, also, I do love like my parents' place, and there's a lot of nice parks and beautiful streets, and I do love the shopping streets as well. But I really like the Opera House. It's a really nice place.
And you've
So,
been dancing since you were 5, right? So you basically like
yeah.
lived in the opera place.
I mean, in the opera place, I I was a part of the company when I was 17, but
Okay.
I've been performing before that because I was in the ballet school of Vienna of the Vienna State Opera Ballet since I was 7 years old.
Oh,
So
wow.
we sometimes went to go. So I've been knowing this opera house for a long time. That's
Yeah,
true.
definitely. How was the upbringing with your family? Like, what were your parents like?
They're great. I feel like my mom is sort of like just like really taking care, making sure everything's fine, really like helping me in every situation, always there, like reminding me to do things that I sometimes don't want to do, like when it comes to like financial things and stuff like this. She always makes sure I have an eye on everything, right? Then my dad was always like the one that was very playful, that
Mm-hmm.
has like I also have a brother, and so he always like we always played games, and we were up to like a lot of fun things, and we went on adventures, and I had a really nice childhood, like growing up. I have to say I have a really good connection to my family as well.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you said you have a brother. How old is your brother? Is he younger than you or older than you?
He's 2 years, 2.5 years older, so he's 27.
Oh, okay. And so you're the baby of the family.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then what's your relationship with your brother? Like I know you said you have a good relationship with your family. What does your brother do? And are you guys kind of farther apart now?
He lives in Germany now,
Oh,
so
wow.
it's not like, yeah, so we don't see obviously every day, but we also have a really good connection. Like we call once a week, and he studied physics. He
Okay, so
went
he's
to
smart.
very smart. Yeah, he's like a genius.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now he works at the like medicine like university, and they do like studies sometimes, and like he does like some little projects and helps the students and the teachers, and like so he works at the university, and yeah, he seems very happy there.
Okay, that's cool. My dad majored in physics, so I know that
Oh,
your brother has
cool.
to be extremely smart. Extremely
Yeah,
smart.
yeah.
Seems to be working. I can't like I like math. I don't like science. So it was
I
like
do like math too, yeah.
yeah, they just
I think I'm like you in that, yeah.
yeah, in physics you have to like both because it plays them hand in
Yeah.
hand, but I'm like, nah, I don't like science.
I, I
Um
feel like with physics, you just need to be able to know everything a bit somehow,
yeah,
like
I
everything in the
right, like
world for some way.
your brain has to be like this big and mine's like this. Um so I want to be able to do that. But so you said so you started dancing at 5 or at 7?
At 5.
At 5. Was there any like pivotal moments when you were getting from the time that you were first dancing until you were 17? Was there any moment that you kind of wanted to not do ballet? Was there kind of like a moment where maybe it was too stressful, or you were just kind of like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore?
I mean, there's many moments. They always come and go. Like throughout my career, throughout my education, they just always happen because it is a very hard job, and you have to be like fully committed, and it's just like a lot of sacrifices you make as well. And just because of that, I feel like every ballet dancer has these moments where it's like I just can't anymore. So, but then you always get past it, and you're actually really happy that you didn't give in. So, I mean, it's just a part of it.
All right. Okay. Okay. Was there any like special performances from the time that you were 5 until the time that you were like 17? So you started, branching off a little bit more. That really was a like milestone for you where you felt good about the performance and it went how you wanted it to. Were there any like performances like that happened and occurred?
Yeah, I think I was like 13 or 14 when I got the chance to do my first kind of principal role. And it was like the young, like Clara in Nutcracker. So it was that version
Oh,
of Nutcracker
wow.
that was performed then. There was like a young Clara that was dancing the beginning of the ballet, and then the grown-up one that was danced by a ballerina from the company. So I was very young, and I was already getting that opportunity, which like was very exciting, and it was a huge deal for me, and it taught me so much, just being on stage, having to carry a ballet, telling a story, and I think that's when I really fell in love with that profession as well.
Okay, I love a nutcracker. I love it. So I know that you did a majority of your training at the Vienna State Opera Ballet School, like we had discussed. And I know that there were some accusations about that schooling. Did you experience any bad experiences when you were there, or was it more, a good professional one?
I didn't have any bad experiences. I think it's really hard to speak for everyone, of course, because we all make our own experiences, and especially
Right.
as a child, it can be very difficult to say who experiences what, because it's always very different from the inside. But me personally, I was doing very well. They taught me a lot, gave me a lot of chances. I even got to travel, and I was very happy, and I learned a lot.
Oh, okay. And where did you travel at when you were at the ballet school? So where were some places that you got to travel?
We went often to Italy because it's quite close to Austria. So we had a few
Oh,
performances in Italy from time to time. I think we had sometimes in Hungary. We even performed in Russia, like in small groups, not the whole school, but it was like always a few of us. So we went to quite a few places, which was awesome.
yeah.
I loved it.
That's great. Italy. Did you like Italy? I mean, do you remember
Oh yeah,
being there? I mean,
I
of
love
course you remember
Italy.
you, but yes. Okay. I have a friend that's from Italy, and she speaks so highly of it every time me and her talk. She loves it there.
It's great. Have you been?
No, I need
Oh,
the farthest. So I lived in Germany. I lived in Germany when I was little because my dad's military.
okay.
And that was the first and last time I went to Germany. So I haven't really traveled out of the US except for Puerto Rico, um, and that's it because my dad's Puerto Rican, so my dad's side of the
Okay.
family's from there.
Yeah,
But other than that, no, I want to though. But then COVID happened and
of
kind of put
course.
a
Yeah.
halt on me living my best life in my 20s.
Yeah.
So, but I want to travel at least to just experience more before I have kids. I feel like
Yeah.
once I have kids, that kind of puts more of
Then
a
it
halt.
slows it down. Of course. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's more difficult.
right. But dang it, Italy and Hungary, that's
It is
exciting.
great.
That's
Yeah.
exciting. Um, so do you mind kind of talking about a typical day that it would have been for training, like the minute that you wake up and then the minute you go to sleep? Um, kind of
Yeah.
emphasizing on maybe just did you guys have to have a certain height and weight for any of the dances or to be in the school?
Oh, in school, I should talk about the day in school. Or okay, yeah. I don't know about the height and weight. Like there is not really like a guideline, especially in school, like how tall you have to be, because I mean everyone grows differently. You can't
Mm-hmm.
really say students have to have that height because then all of a sudden they grow 20 centimeters. I mean, it's really hard to keep track.
Yeah.
And about the weight, I don't quite remember. I feel like they did sometimes put us on weight just to keep track and then maybe like tell people to be more cautious or to eat more or stuff like this. So just to like have an eye on it. Um, Overall, I would say it wasn't like the main thing. A typical day was like, so when I was in lower school, we used to have training in the afternoon and school in the morning. But then
Okay.
in the upper school, it was the opposite. We had training in the morning and school in the evening. So if I remember right, the training in the morning started at 8 a.m., which meant that I woke up at like 6 every morning to get ready, to have breakfast and leave home and be in the studio at 7 a.m. Maybe I even woke up at 5:30, I'm not sure. Like I woke up really early.
Uh-huh.
And then I was warming up for an hour. Then we had training, and then we had different subjects like pas de deux, character dance, variation, point, like all these kind of things. I think until about like maybe 2 p.m. And then we would have like about an hour, I think, to go to the school, which wasn't in the same building. to like eat on the way or however it was possible. And then we had school all afternoon until about 6 o'clock in the evening. And then I would go home and do homework or study or relax. But I feel like I was most of the time I had to study, or if I didn't have time, I would wake up even earlier the next day to
To
like
study.
get my things done. Yeah, so it was really intense actually. Like if I think about it now as a grown up, I'm like, wow. I mean, every day, like waking up at like 5:30 until 6 and then keep going like with homework and stuff. That's very intense. But
Yeah, it
it worked.
definitely is, definitely.
It
Um,
definitely builds character as well.
yeah, I think about oftentimes just going to school and like being up and having to go like, like just for various
Yeah,
hours. I couldn't do it, but I guess like it kind of teaches you how to be on a schedule. I guess, when you
yeah,
get older and you have a job and you have a schedule.
yeah.
Um, but so do you have any friends that you were at the like that you started your ballet journey with? Are you guys still friends now, like lifelong friends?
Yes, actually, some of them for sure. There's one girl, for example, she's dancing in Vienna now. It's quite funny because we were already before we even went to lower school, like already in preschool, basically. We started ballet at the Vienna State Opera Ballet together, and we were really good friends. Then we had the whole school together. And then when she joined the company, I think we were in the company together for like maybe 2 years. Then she went to Hamburg in Germany. Then she was freelancing, and now she actually came back to Vienna when I left. But we're still really good
Oh,
friends. But yeah, and I
oh,
mean also some others.
that's
Yeah,
wonderful. That's good, especially to have like lifelong friends like that. Um,
yeah,
Especially because you guys tend to travel. It sounds like now you're in London, she's back where you guys are from. Um,
yeah.
so would you say that do you guys ever have to compete against each other, or is there ever like a competition between you two that is kind of like, I guess, fun, so to say, because you're like, hey, good job, like good luck, but break a leg.
I think actually not really somehow, or not that I'm aware of. I feel like because we are so hard working on ourselves, I never had that feeling like we would be like thinking about each other too much, because I think we're so concerned about bettering ourselves that it actually doesn't really matter what others do.
Hmm.
I mean, they can be an inspiration. You can see like, oh wow, she improved a lot. Like I have to, like push more. I have to improve more, but not in a way of like too competitive in a sense that it would be unhealthy, I think. I
Oh
never
yeah,
felt it.
absolutely. So I know you said that when you were 13, you got the Nutcracker kind of like solo for yourself to be able to perform, and then it taught you how to tell a story through ballet. So do you mind explaining like how it is that you tell a story through the way of ballet and in your dance and in the way that you guys perform?
I think it really depends on the piece. There's different approaches, and some roles fit us better than others. So, for example, when I have to play some young girl, I usually don't really struggle. It comes very natural to me to just be like a child on stage. But then there's many other roles and characters that we definitely think a lot about. It's like thinking about every movement we do, even to see like, for example, right now I'm working on Black Swan, and
Oh
there is like
wow.
little things, and it's just like it really just matters on how you hold your chin sometimes. Like if you show dominance, or if you kind of like, have this like sassiness, and like it's like these little movements that we have to be really aware when we do what, how we really like show the character.
Hmm.
So that's definitely like a process you approach during the rehearsals. But then obviously if it's like a whole story ballet, there's like a lot, there's sometimes scenes where we don't dance, but more like really act. And it's really important to know the story, to really feel that personality, to
Hmm.
really have like a picture of what you want to be like, who you are, and really like personalize this role also in your own way, because everyone approaches it differently, which makes it so beautiful, I think, because we're all different.
Yeah. Black Swan, that's a big piece.
Yeah, I love it.
That's exciting. That's so exciting. So I know that you've worked alongside like very distinguished choreographers. Is there any particular choreographer that made the learning process like an absolute joy for you? Like it was just such a good experience.
Oh, there's so many. I feel like luckily I got to work with a lot of choreographers throughout my career, and I definitely got to work with some very exciting ones. Like the process was just such a joy, and you just like learn and grow with each other. I wouldn't even be able to mention like one particular because I have like five names at once, and like it's a lot
So
like
it
that
sounds like
you
they've
can
all
take.
just been very good experiences for yourself.
Yeah, and very
Okay.
different as well.
Okay. And then what about the connections with your friends, the choreographers and directors in the industry that inspires you the most?
I do have some very close friends that are ballet dancers. There's Nikisha Fogo, for example. I don't know if you know her, but like she's in San Francisco now, or my friend James, or yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of friends that are everywhere in the world now, and I feel like they've been always such a support, but also a huge inspiration. So that's definitely something. And then as well, like the director that was in Vienna, Manuel Legris, he was like our ballet dad, basically, and he taught us so much. And he's now the director in Milano, in Italy, of La Scala.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and he's just like someone you can never stop learning from. And I mean, though, and then the teachers we had also under his direction, they just like gave so much to us. So there's just a lot of really dominant people in my life, I think, that made me who I am.
It definitely sounds like throughout your career and the schooling that you went through, you definitely had very good people to learn and gain knowledge from. Which
Yeah.
is good. I mean, this is your career. So if you're able to, one, it sounds like you're always able to learn and that you're still learning, and that you definitely are appreciative of like, when you had your first teachers to where you are now. Um,
Mhm.
so we already talked about the Nutcracker. Um, and you're doing the Swan. So what would you say, how long would you say it takes to memorize? I was about to say memorize a routine. Like how often, like how long does that normally take? And then how often do you have to rehearse it until you perform it?
It's very different. It depends on the company. It depends on how much time we have. I see now in English National Ballet that we always, when possible, start quite early to rehearse something, which is very good. I was often in situations where it was like, okay, 2 weeks and you got to be on, like you got to know the steps. So when there's a lot of productions coming at once, sometimes we just don't have that time.
Mm-hmm.
So it really varies from company or from the schedule. But I think a good time to prepare, it depends also if it's like a full length ballet, I think it would be good to have at least 2 months. I mean, you can definitely learn it in like 1 or 2 weeks, but to really embody it and to really like make it good, I think at minimum 2 months would be good. And then also it feels like for me personally that I'm never actually feeling ready. It doesn't matter if I rehearse like a year or if I rehearse a week
Mm-hmm.
until I haven't had one performance. And it doesn't matter, like I just have to have one show and then I feel ready for all the other shows. But it's just until that show, no matter how long I rehearse, I would always be like, not sure if I'm like fully ready. But then
Yeah.
once you have that one show, you're like, okay, now let's go, let's do more.
Yeah, like you got this. It's no problem. Um,
Yeah,
okay, so it just kind of depends on the company and then the piece that you guys are performing. Okay.
yeah.
What would you say was the shortest time that you had to rehearse a big piece?
Ooh, I mean, there was once a situation that we had guestings in Madrid. and we were supposed to rehearse another production back in Vienna. Then once we would come back to Vienna, we would have 2 days left for another full-length ballet I was dancing, which was La Fille Mercader. So the plan was that we would rehearse La Fille while we are in Madrid. But then the role I was dancing in Madrid, all the other casts got sick. So I had to dance every show, every night. So we didn't have time to rehearse. And my partner never danced that role that we did after Vienna. So we came back to Vienna, we had 2 days. And we did it. I mean, it worked, but I was definitely like, I remember the moment before the curtain opened. I stood there and I was like, is that like really happening?
Mm-hmm.
How am I supposed to do that? Like, but it worked. It was actually amazing. It was like
good.
even better.
Yeah, so maybe the stress of having to like be like, you know, having to perform it so quickly gave you like that adrenaline to be like, okay, we can do this. We just gotta get through all of this.
Yeah.
Dang, that is, someone in the comments said that that's scary. I could only imagine. So everyone just got sick. Was this around the time of like COVID when everything first happened, or it was just like people were just sick?
No, that was like years ago. I think maybe like 4 years ago or something. So people were just sick.
They were just sick.
Yeah.
Oh wow, I couldn't imagine. I'd be like, well, I'm sick too, because I can't. I'm sick to my stomach. I can't.
I literally actually I woke up like the day of the second show. I was like, I feel sick too. Like I actually started feeling sick and I was so tired. It was so intense. And I was like, but what if I'm actually sick? Like there's just no one who can do it. So I was like, I mean, even if I'm sick, I can't be sick. So I'm just not sick. Like that's it. There's
telling my
no
body, I'm not sick. We're not sick right now. We have to get to this performance first, and then we can be sick.
Exactly. It's like
Okay.
you gotta do this.
Okay, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. I would have had a meltdown. My stress would have just been like, yeah, you're sick, and I would have just been like on the floor. For out of your whole dance characters that you've had to portray, I can't think of the actual word I'm trying to say, because I'm still like trying to wake up. What would you say that your favorite character to embody was, and then why?
I really enjoyed Dancing Marie Antoinette by Patrick Devane because I felt like the role of Marie Antoinette has a lot to it. There's a lot of pain. There's a lot of there's just so much emotion. And what I really liked about is that the choreographer gave a lot of freedom as well. He really made me understand the role and the character, but I feel like he wasn't super strict about when I had to do what. He just told me who I am, basically, and I had a lot of freedom in like really expressing myself the way I feel like was right. So I did really enjoy that, and it was one of these pieces where I'd say every show was so different. Like one wouldn't be the same as another just because it depended on the day of emotion. So that was definitely something that like was like pure enjoyment, and it was so sad. Like I was really like, whoa, like
Feeling the
it was
emotions
a
for
lot.
real. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. So for the director, so how does it normally go about that? Do you get your piece first? The director kind of tells you how you have to do your choreography, and then does he give you like a certain date of when this will need to be performed, and like does he help with like the rehearsal part of the process?
I mean, normally there's like fixed dates of shows that they're always announced like a year before that
Okay.
season, or
Oh,
like
okay.
half a year before. So then we have the whole season that's set, and there's a whole program which shows on which dates, but we don't know what we dance, we don't know when we dance. So we would get that like maybe 2 months before or 3 months before we would find out what we dance, and then later on we get the dates of which shows we're doing, and then so the director or the choreographer decides that, and then we just approach it and we perform it, and then next one.
Okay. So with performing, what would you say is your favorite part of the performance itself? Is it the audience? Is it the costumes? Is it the piece that you're performing? What would you say is your favorite